Hey everyone, it's Call Me Adam, and we are here live in New York City at Shetler Studios with Emmy Award winner Dorothy Lyman and CBS's Blue Blood Abigail Hawk. And today we are talking about Dorothy's new show in the Bleak Midwinter, which is going to be at Shetler Studios September 8th through the 23rd.
Hey everybody, it's Adam, live and in person for you. Hey everybody, it's Adam, wonder who he'll interview. CallMeAdam.com.
This September, your play, The Bleak Midwinter, is premiering Off-Broadway. I'll start with you, Dorothy.
Okay.
What made you want to write this show and star in it as well?
Well, this play is about an old farmer, a widowed farmer whose children want her off their four-generation dairy farm, and she's resisting moving. So I have a farm upstate New York, and I raise eggs, and my children a year ago said it was time for me to get off that farm. And I was missing my grandkids' lives. It's 3 hours from New York. Nobody ever came to visit. I had to go visit them. So I finally agreed, and I've moved now down to live on my son's outfit in Connecticut. I took my horses and my hens down there to live with my family. And it's closer to New York, so it was the right thing to do. But last winter, when I was struggling with selling the farm, I was so grief-stricken at giving up the lovely life I'd had up there for 17 years and all my friends. And I wrote this play to try to help myself get over the feelings of loss.
Wow.
I have 3 children, and the woman in the play has one daughter, played by Abigail. Played beautifully, my dear. I must say, what a pleasure to rehearse every day.
What do each of you identify with your characters in the show? What do you relate to, and what's one characteristic that you each are glad that you yourselves don't possess, that your characters possess?
The one thing about Betsy that I'm glad I don't possess is that Betsy has tantrums. She has very childish adult tantrums. And I'm grateful that I don't have those, because I'm Swedish and we don't really have feelings. We just stuff them down and pretend they don't exist. So I get them out in my acting.
I'm glad you don't have tantrums either, because that could make for a really awkward moment in the interview. Yeah. And you're on CBS's Blue Blood.
We're filming season 9 now.
What is one thing that you wish has happened to Abigail on the show that has not?
I think it would be really fascinating to know a little bit more about her personal life. I was pregnant on the show twice. I have 2 sons, and she was also pregnant along with me. And you don't know really anything about her family, what her husband does, what she's like as a mom. So I think it'd be really fascinating, especially as a female cop, female detective. Their stories really don't get told as often, and they deal with some pretty phenomenal things on the street through their job. And I would love for that to be addressed a little bit more, because I think she truly, runs that office. She keeps everybody in line and runs a very tight, organized ship, and she's excellent at hanging up coats and delivering coffee and making sure that Frank Reagan knows exactly how she feels on certain issues. Nobody else can talk to him the way that she talks to him.
And what's it like to work with Tom Selleck?
Horrible. He's a true icon. I have been so incredibly blessed to have spent the last 8 years of my life learning from him. He's been phenomenal to work with, and plus he's, that mustache is to die for. It's just as beautiful in person.
I have a component to my interviews called I Can See Clearly Now, where I try to clear up misconceptions about my interviewees. So what do each of you feel is the biggest misconception out there about yourselves that you would like to just clear up?
That I'm dead.
Oh my God.
No, I mean, really, it's somebody came up to me recently and said, weren't you Dorothy Lyman? And I said, yes, I was, and I'm hoping to be again someday. So
I don't think I've been doing this long enough to have a lot of misconceptions. However, there are some very poorly constructed biographies of me that say that I was born and raised in Chicago. I don't know where that came from. I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm not from Chicago, although my husband is from Iowa, so maybe they picked up that, I don't know.
I loved your guest starring role on Divorce on HBO. What other TV shows today would you like to be on if
Well, I'm about to, on Monday, start a lovely guest star part on, what's it called?
Blacklist.
Yeah, The Blacklist.
Oh, that's terrific.
I know. I just love working. So I would be on anybody's show if they wanted me, you know.
Me too.
I keep auditioning, you know, and I love auditions, unlike most actors who hate them. But I love auditions because they're the only acting I get to do sometimes for years at a time, literally. Sometimes actors come up with their best ideas in the car going home from the audition. So I just try to leave it all in the room and to just do the best and just to feel great about it. So I just think if I can be the last old woman standing, I will work more, you know. I hear Betty White's retiring now, so.
She will never retire. How dare you?
May I tell you a story about Betty White?
Yes,
You know, because she did
definitely.
Mama's Family
Yes.
with us. So I got sick of having them torture my hair into these, you know. So one day I just cut it all off, and I had a platinum blonde crew cut, you know, because they put a wig on me.
Yeah.
It was just easier, you know. I came to work the day after I'd had that haircut, and Betty White looked at me and she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Did that happen on the way home from work?"
Oh my God, only Betty.
Just ask anybody who's had 'em. Adam lives for the business of show. Call me Adam.com.